This is about William, future king, having his issues with Harry and Meghan and the California obsession with therapy, okay? Now, the king in waiting believes that Harry and Meghan blindsided the family, even the Queen, with their public comments and their oh-so-California self-importance, an opinion he has repeatedly voiced in various ways to friends and aides during the past 2 years. Convinced Harry's been, quote, brainwashed by an army of therapists.
That is the most insightful thing in this entire book. It's quoting William, supposedly, but absolutely, when you hear Harry talk, you can hear those phrases and you can know he's been through a lot of therapy. And yes, for some people, therapy is very much necessary, but I think the great Jordan Peterson, a world-famous psychologist himself, says the more you obsess about yourself and think about yourself, the more miserable you are. And those of us who've seen Harry grow up,
correct,
he's gone from this happy-go-lucky, sunny disposition type of a dude to this miserable looking guy who's got the world. He's got his wife, he's got 2 healthy kids, he's got riches, he's got his independence, and yet he couldn't look more miserable.
What's the thing? He's sort of looking at scandals around the corner, trying to invent these things in order to have the victim narrative. And as you say about Dr. Peterson, you know, what's that term? Sort of paralysis by analysis, right? And it's, again, self-reflection's all good and important, but if it just becomes this cycle, down, 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 and we are where we are.
Well, and the therapy he's having doesn't seem to have any sort of personal responsibility angle to it. It's all about how I've been wronged by my family, by the media, by society. It's all about everyone's against him, and it's him and Meghan against the world. It's toxic.
Well, and guess what?
Red flags everywhere.
That is also California.
That is also California. William's on the money there, or whoever's inventing those quotes for him. Now, the book does also cover the passing of the Queen, naturally, and let's just have a look at what Omid has to say here. By the next morning, the Sussexes had no idea that Buckingham Palace was already planning for the Queen's final hours and the first days of the monarchy's new era, until the Duke's phone started ringing. An unknown number. He usually ignored those. You should answer it, Meghan told him. He tapped accept just before it stopped. Harry hadn't spoken to his father much that year, but this was not the time for any father and son tension. Charles told him he and Camilla were about to leave Dumfries House for Balmoral, where Princess Anne was already by the Queen's side. He told Harry to make his way to Scotland immediately. William, whom Charles had just spoken to, was supposedly working on arranging travel. Harry sent a text message to his brother asking how he and Kate planned to get to Scotland and whether they could travel together. No response.
Oh.
It's incredible that we've got direct quotes here from Meghan. We've got details like a private number popping up, right, unidentified. It's almost like Harry and Meghan are the sources behind this book. In fact, possibly the only sources behind this book.
How could you possibly say that? There are quotes from only one side of a conversation?
Oh, my gosh. Yes, this is... he's not even artful about covering up whose sources are here.
I think his assumption is if you've made it to page 204, you know who's really behind this book, that this is for the hardcores.